Honorable ministers here present, distinguished guests, development partners, private sector leaders. I'm pleased to attend this Africa Private Sector Forum on forced displacement, representing His Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda. First, I wish to welcome you all to Rwanda and thank you for being here today, despite the travel challenges caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. I would also like to thank the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Regional Office, the Amahoro Coalition, and African Entrepreneurial Collective in Homoko for organizing this important forum. Distinguished guests, forced displacement has reached its highest level in Africa. Statistics indicate that in 2020, the number of displaced people in sub-Saharan Africa reached an alarming record of 35.9 million people, representing 45% of the total number of refugees globally. One of the key goals of African Union Agenda 2063 is preservation of peace, security, and stability on the continent. The Agenda 2063 further describes structural features of our economies which have a strong influence on the outcomes for peaceful and inclusive societies. For example, it is evident that disconnect between the education systems and labor markets is creating instability to the livelihoods of our people, especially the youth. Much as it is the role of governments to create the enabling environment that promotes the creation of decent employment and secure access to quality education, engaging the private sector is critical for addressing the skills mismatch and job creation challenges. Distinguished guests, as it is well documented, Africa has a significant economic potential which, if well exploited, the continent can at least minimize the number of economic refugees by giving different opportunity to our youth. It is therefore our responsibility to work closely with the private sector to use properly these resources by creating enough jobs for our youth. This will economically and socially empower them to address the issue of their risky migration to other continents. From the comprehensive refugee response framework and the recently adopted UN Global Compacts, it is obvious that a sustainable solution to refugee concerns cannot be achieved without multilateral cooperation and private sector actors. The private sector can obviously contribute to the socio-economic integration of refugees in Africa by providing them an opportunity to earn decent income. In any African country, the business community can engage refugees by promoting their entrepreneurship as their first and the most direct route to integration and self-sufficiency. By facilitating refugees access to the job markets, it decreases their dependence on aid and help the host economy to tap into full potential of their skills and consumption. Distinguished guests, Rwanda has an open door policy toward refugees and asylum seekers. About 10% of refugees in Rwanda live in urban areas, while the remaining 90% are settled in 5 camps across the country. We all know that receiving refugees is one good thing, but ensuring that they live in conditions of dignity is another. In this regard, the government of Rwanda accepted the application of the Comprehensive Refugees Response Framework in 2016. This is a multi-stakeholder coordination that focuses on addressing humanitarian and development needs of both refugees and host communities. Rwanda is implementing all its required thematic actions as domesticated in Rwanda's national strategy for transformation and our Vision 2050. Currently, the government of Rwanda and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees are implementing a joint strategy on the economic inclusion of refugees and the host communities for the period 2021-2024. In order to achieve this inclusiveness of refugees, different policies are being translated into action to contribute to the socio-economic progress of both refugees and host communities. Rwanda will therefore continue to play its role by ensuring refugee protection, security, and socio-economic inclusion. For example, all refugees aged 16 years and above, like any other Rwandan, have been issued with ID card to enable them get access to various services. In Rwanda's education policy, access to quality education for all Rwandans and Rwandan residents is our priority. Today, there are 55,000 refugee students enrolled in various education levels, from early childhood to primary through secondary schools. We have also more than 500 refugees in different universities under several scholarship programs. Regarding the access to health care, in collaboration with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, all camp-based refugees receive health care services at no cost. Those settled in urban areas are enrolled in the National Community-Based Health Insurance Scheme, known as Mutuelle de Santé. On financial inclusion, through government institutions, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and their partners, various projects owned by refugees and host communities have been funded. Loans and cash grants are extended to refugees to support their livelihood activities, including money to start small businesses and to improve their agricultural activities. As we look ahead in the years to come, this forum should therefore challenge policymakers and the private sector actors to actively deliver sustainable solutions to issues affecting socioeconomic development on the continent. This forum is therefore a wake-up call for our collective response to the forced displacement crisis on our continent. Let us therefore use this forum as a platform to find practical and realistic solutions that will positively impact the livelihoods of refugees communities. Before I conclude, I wish to acknowledge all key actors in refugee management. I would also like to reiterate Rwanda's support and collaboration with different stakeholders in ensuring refugees protection and assistance. On behalf of the President of the Republic of Rwanda, I declare the inaugural Africa Private Sector Forum on Forced Displaced officially open. I thank you so much.